So today I'm going to talk about the emotion serenity, or the state of mind, state of being. Serenity, being calm, peaceful and untroubled. It could be linked to feelings of joy and happiness, I would guess too. And so this state of being, this emotion, sounds wonderful, doesn't it? Serenity, serene. And perhaps it's a state that we would all want to reach. And maybe that's why we seek out places like this, where we can be at one with nature and the birds and the estuary and the clouds and the sky, and it helps if it's a nice day, of course. We're moving out of winter into spring here in the UK, and so we're getting more days like this. And that seems to feed the soul and seems to promote a sense of well-being. But of course, if we didn't have the serenity before we arrived here, we wouldn't magically start to live that sense of being in the world, that sense of peace and contentment. We would bring our troubles with us. And this is where, again, the theme in these videos on emotion, it does come back to one's inner state of being. That's not to say that what's happening externally in our lives and our relationship to others and events in our lives don't have a massive impact on that inner state of being, but if we rely upon the situations in our lives for us to find that serenity and peace of mind and even happiness, then we might be waiting a long time. It doesn't necessarily follow that our life can be put together in such a way that we can just then, from external events, gain that sense of well-being, serenity and peace of mind. And by the same token, it's difficult to find that within us, within our sense of being, if we're in difficult, anxiety-producing situations where there are a lot of pressures upon us and this chaos seems to be seeping into the order, and we're in that continual battle to try and find meaning and purpose and make sense of our own lives and the lives of those around us. So again, I think that it comes back to the inner world of oneself, our sense of what is it at our core that defines us. And if we can sense that we're not defined by what is happening in the world of form, in the world of manifestation, in the surface drama of our life, recognizing at the same time that that needs to be given due attention, but if we recognize that that doesn't define us, that actually there is something deep within that is immune to those external pressures and fluctuations of life, the chaotic randomness that we seem to be continually battling against. If we recognize then that we are separate from those things, and that if we don't view ourselves as another thing in that chaos, but actually as a deeper manifestation of the one, the Tao, the flow of life, the way, and we can find that space within us, then that is where serenity lies. That's where clarity of mind resides. That's where wisdom comes from, and intuition and creative endeavours that we are almost drawn to without knowing why. And so it is about letting go of the drama and not living in that surface drama, and recognising that there's a deeper truth within to be found, and we can find that truth at at any time, at any point in our lives. The mistake that a lot of people make is that they wait until the surface is calm and still and the serenity is within them to then go and find that inner peace and that deeper sense of being. But of course we never have a break. The drama of life plays out, and just as we sort one thing out, something else appears, and so we keep putting off that deep inner work for a time when we have a bit of peace and tranquility. Well, then we carry on putting that off forever, because the peace and tranquility is so fleeting that we never have enough of it to do the work, the inner work. And that inner work is that dropping away of what defines us externally and seeing what is underneath the layers that have built up over the years, the layers of identity. This is a common theme in the videos. I'm suggesting that we drop things, that we let go, that we're not adding more to the story of us, but that we're actually recognizing the story of us is, on one sense, illusionary. On one level of understanding is a drama and can be played out, but can be played out from a deeper sense of being and truth within. And so if you can use every opportunity to see through the illusion of yourself, see through the illusion of the constructed story, the egoic self, and there's plenty of videos on the channel that help you do that and reinforce that way of being, then you have the chance to just stop and breathe in and find that actually there's nothing at that deeper level that can be harmed. There is an emptiness that gives birth to all manifestations, including the notion of being an individual self who has to act in the world. And if you can find that place of pure being and breathe, then action will flow naturally through you. The Tao, the way, the flow of life will be given free rein and will not be restricted by the filter of the story of you. It'll have full force to flow, and that phrase, fulfill your potential. But first of all, we need to drop into that space of beingness and don't use that journey as a means to an end, as an egoic way of fulfilling your potential. That happens or doesn't happen naturally as in response to finding that deeper sense of being. And then, if you're lucky, happiness may visit you from time to time, and you welcome it when it does. But we don't find happiness. Happiness finds us, and it has more chance of doing that once we've seen through the drama, the surface level drama of our lives, and drink in that deeper sense of beingness within. Now we can open our eyes to the beauty that surrounds us, because we are meeting that beauty with a beauty within. We are meeting the perfection of the external with the perfection of the internal, and the two become one, and they merge, and then life becomes very simple and natural.